Hey, Max, we were just talking about Spud's game before you came in. You get to play in a really significant game every year in King's birthday.
We do, yep.
In honour or driven by a famous Melbourne person, Neil Danaher. So what's it like to play in those games? What, for the St Kilda guys tonight, Spud's game, for you guys, King's birthday?
Yeah, it is. It is pretty cool. It's more the lead up. We're very lucky. We get Neil still come to the club.
Yeah.
And give us one of his inspirational chats, which are getting better and better, I must say. And I'm sure in Spud's game, they'll have the Frawleys come in at some point and talk about what the game means to them. So the lead up is extremely cool. And then the game, it's just like really any other game. Once the game starts, they all are. But you get to do the big slide. Have you done the slide?
I have. I was one of the originals.
First, yeah.
I was the last slider in the first week.
What did you dress as?
Well, see, this is the point. At the time, there was no fancy dress.
Okay.
And I said, can I do some fancy dress? I'll wear a cape. I'll wear a mask. I'll come down. I got everyone behind me to do the Merv Hughes thing. And Channel 7 didn't want to do it. So they go, mate, everyone at Channel 7 at the time was trying to work out how they could get sacked and avoid it.
Right.
So they just didn't want any issues. So they said, mate, can't you just go down
So
like everyone else? I go, no, I'm going last.
No.
I've got to have a big
Yeah. Crescendo.
So I had to talk him into it, and thereafter it was bang. Next thing you know, you got Freddie Mercury over there.
Yours is.
Taking easy laughs off my hard work in the very first.
In your bumblebees?
You're doing it.
No, I'm not. I'm not going down. Although
Why not?
a current player going down would be a good touch. But let's say me and Darcy Moore both said we'll both do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Cancel it out.
My preps are I've got a pretty lackadaisical prep. I'm pretty calm, but I'm
That'd
not
be
sure if
new
I
levels.
could. Not
Yeah.
sure I could go down.
You don't do an
slide.
ice bath before the game.
I do an ice bath before the game, but not half an
do?
hour. Not half an hour before the
Right.
game. Yeah, it's a bit close.
Clayton Oliver back in the side. Good to see.
Yeah, it is. He's had a big week in the press. It's quite topical. It got talked about a lot at the start of the week. Our president jumped into defence of him. I just find it interesting that a guy hasn't had an article written about him for sort of 4 or 5 weeks, makes a mature decision to take some time away from the game, something that he hasn't done in the past very well.
Yep.
In fact, he sort of spirals from this decision rather than making a really mature decision. And he's done that, and then the press that's come from that post, I just find, I don't mind the doorstop. That's news. Like, he's returning back to training, and the question wasn't. It was an easy question. I don't mind the trade speculation chat because any player who's playing is up to trade speculation.
Yep.
The one I struggle with is speculating about why he's mentally unstable, and that was going live Monday, Tuesday nights on the shows, and I sat there and gone, here's a guy who's made a mature decision to spend 4 or 5 days away from the club to work on himself. He's not going to do that again because he has been absolutely smacked for it.
Yeah. So
It was
people
worse than
have
if he
said,
had-
so there was Sam McClure, I think, who went with the reason that he wasn't playing and the reason that he was unhappy was some of it was around game time.
Yeah.
So what was the dialogue in at the footy club about, essentially guessing as to why he's not playing?
Yeah, well, me and Clayton hardly talked about it when we caught up.
Yeah.
We just talked about life in general. But my own personal view, it's just like, not only is Clayton going to think twice before taking time off, I'm going to think twice before taking time off. Young players are going to think twice before taking off because he's literally not had an article written about him for 5 weeks, takes time off, and then bang, he's the front page, back page of every paper. And some of the stuff I get, the doorstop I get, the trade speculation I get, just like speculating why he's unstable.
But don't you think that's why players will just say instead, well, I've got hamstring awareness or something?
There's
this
that.
is why people cover it. Like, this is the opposite of the direction we want to be going.
Correct. And there's a guy who's made a mature decision. He's not going to make that mature decision again. Like, he's going to fight through his illness, which is not the ideal scenario.
We'll take a quick break, come back and talk about your chances against Hawthorn after the Tigers softened them up beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have put you in the box seat
Thank
here
you.
to take the chockies. Just before we get on to your shenanigans this week, should we be alarmed about Collingwood? Is this ominous?
It's ominous that they've won a game and been beaten in every stat and clearly won the game. I think they were in
Good
front
Lord.
for pretty much 3 quarters.
Yep.
That's a bit worrying for the rest of the comp that they can go over there, beat a team that was pretty hot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Freo were playing some of their best footy.
Yeah.
And
Now,
they've
what are
got
your
them done.
chances of getting a kick this week? Because your preparation has not been sound
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
Hyman, on good authority, you went AWOL
Yep.
midweek,
Yep.
ended up on a private jet,
I did.
and you absconded to Cobram Estate,
Yeah.
and you were seen picking olives up in the Hunter. Where is
Hey,
it?
Hunter.
Where is
Boundary
it?
Bend, up on the Murray.
What were you doing? What's that about?
Well, I flew the plane first.
Yeah, you did. You did a good job.
They put me up.
This is your captain, Max Gawn, speaking.
Yeah, I'd said I'm a bit of an aviation nerd, which I am, and he said, "All right, we'll take control of the plane." I'm like, "Okay."
So you went up with Roo and
Yeah.
Rosie, and you were up in Cobram Estate. What were you doing? Whining and dining, having a...
Yeah, we wined and dined. It was
Yeah,
a
we
rough
did.
start. The pilot asked me what I did for work. So it was a rough start.
That's a good start.
It is
On
a
day
good
like
start.
that, that is the perfect start.
And then I went. Eventually, when I told him, he goes, "Oh, my daughter goes to Melbourne." I'm like, "Don't tell her the first question, mate. You won't be let back at home." So we had a good chat, and then we were able to pick some olives. It's a beautiful little world away from.
Is it fun? Is it
Melbourne.
fun to just stop kicking footballs and get out of the loop for a day?
Yeah, to be fair, I don't kick footies every time every single day, but it was to be able to, and an old teammate, Jordan Lewis, hadn't seen him for a while. A couple of Nick's mates.
Did Nick cook?
I
No.
wasn't
You
on
told
the,
me you were
No,
cooking.
I wasn't on the tours. I helped curate the menu.
Curate.
Yeah.
We had the
Go.
best potato cakes that I've ever had in my life.
That's a
But
big
those
haul for
time-
you.
Oh, they were
Oh my
unbelievable.
say
God,
that
Mick!
if you don't
Honestly,
mean it.
no, I
Have you
do
got a
mean
photo,
it.
Rosie? They were pretty good potato cakes.
I
weren't
actually, fun fact, Jordan Lewis, I gave him a lift home. He was sinking a few. We got a takeaway
he?
bag. We got a
He got on
takeaway
it.
bag of olive oil. And Jordan left his in the car, and the potato cakes were in the car. So the chef had given Jordan maybe 10 potato cakes. So I got to take them home, which was great. I had an extra 10
Jordan took
potato
a
cakes.
stash.
He took a stash
Did
of
he?
potato cakes.
He had a couple, did he?
Yeah, he had a couple. of
Did
potato
he? He
cakes.
tried and break Booney's record on the flight back from Cobram Estate.
He was. Well, the flight was a bit.
The fly was a little bumpy. It
It
was
was.
very windy.
I was suggesting it might not make it back.
and to be fair, in the last 5 minutes, we were thinking of you. It was a rough landing.
Yeah, that
really?
radio piece will age well, Mick, when we all go down.
Much smoother on the way home when I was in the co-pilot seat. I might
Rosie
add.
did a great job.
Got a photo of Nick honking on
He's
to
got, his
the
elbows
bone.
he's got his elbows on the table and he's eating with his hands. What is wrong with you? You're
Well,
not in
it's-
Texas now, mate.
No,
You're
but
Cobram
after
Estate.
eating a ribeye on the bone, Mick, you got to get into it. You're just jealous. You'll be there next year.
Will I ever? You won't get me back.
We'll do a 3-day OB.
Good luck
you.
against Hawthorn.
Yeah.
That'll be a
Thanks
true
for
test.
softening him up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
We
Yeah.
actually, I mean, I know we're going on an ad break, but I'll get this story out quickly. My neighbour is Lloyd Meek, who is the Hawthorn ruckman. We live, and there's communal tipping. There's 50 or 60 people that tip in the same neighbourhood. We're both in it, and we've split the neighbourhood. And I've worked out who's tipped for Hawthorn. I've told them don't come back.
Yeah, don't.
All right.
Really
There's a
excited.
bit of niggle in this.
Boy.
Like it.
I'll be
Subplot.
watching that one keenly. Good on you, Maxie.